2, and here's Modi.
I just realized my voice sounds so horrible on that. I sound like I just came out of like having corona. Here's
Chas v'shalom.
Chas v'chometz. Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in and downloading and doing all that stuff.
Hi everybody.
We're here with Periel, and she almost didn't wear the mask, and then Leo's here, and we have a special guest. One of the funniest people walking this planet, literally. Leah Forster.
The one and only.
The one. I never liked people.
I'm sorry.
I never liked
stay quiet.
That's so. It's so Victoria. One and only. No, Leah is a unique comedian. She does comedy and does characters that are on another level. The most famous one, of course, is Tichel Tuesday. Those of you who don't know what Tichel is, it's when an Orthodox woman does not want to wear her wig. She puts on a Jewish do-rag. It's a Jewish
How would you describe
do-rag.
it, Leah?
A Tichel is a Jewish do-rag. Did I not nail that? Perfect. It's
You
a
understood the assignment.
Exactly. No, talk into the mic, no. And the Jewish. So she has a thing called Tichel Tuesday, where she goes on and like takes a subject and imitates one of these women that are in the super Orthodox Hasidic community. Now, when I first met Leah, I thought, she's so original. She gets this material. How does she do it? She's so amazing. She just keeps shush. Don't interrupt me. Fresh ideas nonstop. I couldn't believe it. Then Leo and I went for dinner in her house Friday night, and she has a friend. Who is this character? Who is this? She's 100. Anything that comes out of her mouth is the funniest thing in the world. Her English is the most. What's her name? Rivki. Could you?
Okay.
If you talk into the mic, would it hurt you to talk into the mic?
Phallic-shaped objects. So, are you gonna cut that?
No.
Of course not. That's gonna be your bit.
That's gonna be the blip.
That's what we post.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the question?
The question was,
what's her name? That woman.
So the Tichel Tuesday character that people really know you by, and people who don't should go to her Instagram account and see this character. It is
Hello.
hello.
That's basically it. Yeah. So she is not the person that I based the character off of.
How dare you sit there and lie to me? We saw her.
Well, she's just one of many. She's the same person that you see everywhere you walk in that community. They're all the same. So I based it off of somebody that I grew up with.
Okay.
My mom, can I say the story? When I was 6, she took me when I was in 6th grade, she took me for my first brassiere. And I went to a lingerie store. Now, in Borough Park, which is where I was raised, the way that it works is most people, I'm so sorry I'm calling you guys out on your shit. Feel free to call me back on mine. A lot of the businesses are not super legal. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little side hustle, you know? So I went to this woman's house. She was holding like one baby, nursing from one teat, yelling at the other one like, Yashia Yaakov, you know? And she's selling bras in her basement. You get it? And that to me was like a moment.
Respect the hustle.
You know what I'm saying? She was like cooking dinner, and while it was cooking, she was running down, fitting some people, running back up.
In Borough Park, all these women run businesses out of their basement. So this Tichel Tuesday character, every week it's a different business, and then there's a website you make up for it.
Oh my God, the websites.
Give us an example. Don't do the act. I would never make you do the character, but like, give us an example of one of the businesses and one of the websites.
All right, so one of my hottest websites, like flying off the shelves, was a product I had called Sticky Dickies. Because if you're raised in our community, you can't. One of the stringent rules are you can't show your collarbone.
Really?
Well, they're just so sensual.
I purposely show it every time because I'm rebellious. But anyway, so they sell these material that you put inside your neck, and it looks like a collar, but
No,
it's
they don't.
only a dickie.
Oh
Just
my
a
God.
dickie. And the minute I heard that word, I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm gonna go crazy with this one. And then I said, you could just whip out your dickie, like, you know. So that was like that was.
Wait, it's a
funny
piece
one.
of fabric that
It's
just sits
literally-
right
and
here?
It looks
Yeah.
like a collar. It's like a jabot.
I don't know what a
Jabot
jabot is.
Jabot. It's like
It's
a
actually very
flowing
chic right now. Like
Thank
Miu
you.
Miu is making them.
Interesting.
They're like collars, but they just tuck in.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Sticky Dicky's making a comeback.
Thanks to you.
Thanks to you. But so besides that
No pun
character,
intended
you
with the
have
comeback.
you have a million. She has a million other characters that are in from the like super specific Jewish communities, like the community that lives in Lakewood, but not even in Lakewood, the town right outside of Lakewood that's always talking about, I don't live in Lakewood, I live right, this, what's it called?
Tom's River.
Tom's River.
So explain that to people who don't know what Lakewood versus
so
Tom's River is.
Basically, it's like anyone, and think of like your political affiliation, and like you don't want to fully affiliate with your, so you're like, I'm not extreme. You know what I mean? I only have ABC. So there's like levels of stringency when it comes to certain religion. And Hasidic religion is very different than yeshivish religion.
Interesting.
It's two completely different sects, and they have very different customs.
Really?
The Hasidic people are known to be very warm and like easygoing. Go to Hasidic Shabbat table, it's bomb. It's so fun. Everyone's clapping and banging and singing, and they're all like, it's lit. And then you go to a yeshivish, which is very like, uptight. And oh, fuck. The yeshivish people are going to come for me.
Just be yourself.
Very stringent, very, so it's like two opposite extremes.
Okay.
But nobody wants to be on either extreme. So the ultra Hasidics live in like Williamsburg and Skver and whatever.
And who?
The ultra Hasidics.
No, what's
Skver-
Skver? What was that?
Williamsburg,
Square's
which is
upstate
Oh,
New York.
Square.
Old Tosh in Montreal. These are tiny little villages of extreme sects.
Okay.
And the same
love
is for the
extreme sects.
yeshivish community. There are tiny little communities that are subsects of the other communities that are just less than. So like someone in Lakewood would not have internet in their house. Shalom.
Oh.
But somebody in Tom's River has it, but we don't tell anybody in school.
Yeah.
It's a tiny little nuance of the difference.
Okay,
It's
so
really,
It's
really
such
crazy.
a nuance. So like it's such a specific. Like when I do my yoyli, I try to make it so that anybody Jewish can get it or not Jewish get it. This is so specific. The names and you leaned into. I don't care that I'm hitting this community.
Oh, hell yeah. And here's when I decided that I'm going to do it. Originally, I didn't want to box myself into this. Like, I don't want to be just this Jewish comedian and all my jokes to be, like, so specific to Jews. But I went to see a black comedian who blew me away, and I'm ashamed to admit that I don't know his name. But it was the best bit I had ever seen because within the black community, there's so many. They have the Haitian and Jamaican, and each nuance is so different, and he would take one point of view and imitate it in like 15 different ways, and I was like, fuck yes. And I didn't understand the culture, but I understood the jokes. And I was like, so I can do that. That's my niche.
That's amazing.
First
And
of
I want
all-
to say something about Modi, who's amazing. First of all, he literally, thank you, Modi. I know you're still alive, but I'm going to eulogize you.
Oh, should we do a hesped right now?
No,
Don't do a
honestly,
hesped.
you were the
Don't do
kindest.
that.
No, people need to know because he goes on stage and he acts like an asshole. Okay?
No, I don't.
Your dentist
Sometimes.
said you need to smile more on stage, but maybe just because she's your dentist. Keep going.
That's not
Shout
gonna
out to
happen.
Dr. Helma Phillips.
Okay, but Dr. Helma Phillips, it's not happening. The man's a grump on stage. Literally, sometimes I think of you as like
It's a
you were born
shtick.
in the wrong body. No, you're like a grumpy old lady, you know?
No, he's not.
Without the saggy tits.
Wow. That's going to be the blip.
That's the blurb, yeah, for
That's
sure.
going to be the blip.
Oh no, we're not done yet. Be
No,
positive.
we haven't.
You could always go to that woman who sells bras out of her basement. She'll fix those saggy tits for you.
Oh my God, they have everything in those basements. The
Yeah.
women have every business in those basements.
And they
you,
capitalize. They know what to do. This guy
It's
that
really
I work
incredible.
with, he's a genius. The minute COVID hit, he was like, I'm going to be doing COVID tests. And he
For
just
sure.
bought
And the
out every
lice,
COVID. And
too.
guess what? That guy made a lot of money in COVID.
Yeah, and also the lice. They have like capitalized on every lice case.
What's lice? L-I-C-E?
Head lice.
Head lice?
Yeah.
Yes, they're lice checkers. By the way,
The
Who's checking-
Orthodox
what?
Jewish women.
for the record, growing up in a very
What?
ultra-Orthodox community
We
where
have
I
to
had
talk about
crushes on
this.
women, and they came to each classroom to check lice, oh, it was the best day ever. Check my head, baby.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God, I'm sure you loved it.
You're
Okay,
like, check for crabs too.
It's so restricted.
Wait, what are you up to? I haven't seen you. We just sat down. We didn't even like start. We no hachanas, no preparation before we did this. What are you? You're doing a show at? I just saw you were doing a show at Caroline's, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, she was always calling me. Can you put me on for? No, do your own thing. You have an
Well,
audience.
can I just say that's what I was saying about Modi before I was rudely Okay, so basically, he gave me my first big break, really. In fact, I performed in Comedy Cellar for the first time ever for a mixed audience, meaning until then I had done only religious comedy, and the first performance ever of my life for a
Oh, the
normal
at the
crowd
Village Underground.
was, yeah. And he texts me come to Comedy Cellar. And I said, what's the address? And he said, you schmuck. Don't tell anyone you don't know the address of Comedy Cellar. They're not going to take you seriously. I didn't even know what Comedy Cellar was. Later,
So
I
funny
found
because we just discussed this our last episode, like
What?
with Heim Handwerker, the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
our last-
No, but so one of the reasons why Leah is so wild and doesn't care and doesn't give a damn, which I understand because you have a full-time job besides comedy.
Correct.
So you don't care if it doesn't work out. You don't care if the tickets don't sell. You don't care.
100%.
So when I began doing comedy, I was in investment banking. So I also like, okay, if this works out, great. If not, not. But eventually you have to leave whatever geschäft you're doing, whatever business you're on.
Never. And I'll tell you why. You've done this, from the start, and you are already in this world from the start, in the real comedy world, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was in the ultra-Orthodox community. So my entire career depended on me living a certain lifestyle and meeting certain expectations. You know what that was like every time I got on stage, knowing like secretly if they knew this, like my entire career is in jeopardy.
What was your career, or can you not
Well,
say
I was
that?
a high school teacher in 3 ultra-Orthodox schools, and I taught
Wow.
AP classes. I currently teach
You look like
adjuncts.
a high school teacher in an ultra-Orthodox school.
Not now. I mean, now I teach, and I taught adjuncts then too. It's the only job that didn't fire me when I.
Okay, so first of all, you guys are taking this like all very in stride because you know her.
Right.
But like I am freaking
What are
out
your
right
questions,
now.
Perry?
Here
I'll
we
let it
go,
out.
Here we go.
Well, the fact that you look like you just rolled out of like
of
what-
a band practice.
No,
She was
no,
in a
no.
garage somewhere.
of like
CBGBs.
CBGBs, and like the fact that like you're like casually discussing that you grew up in like Borough Park in like an ultra Orthodox community is so insane.
No, she's amazing. There's
She's
so
amazing.
and there's so many layers that we don't even
there's
know.
so many
She'll-
layers to
yeah.
her.
Like,
that
are
just
they are so scandalized? Like
Yeah.
the tattoo, the whole thing.
She doesn't even know how talented she is. Leah, because the one time you came to
I
do
remember
one
thinking
time
that
you
when
you
I get
opened
tattoos, I'm gonna get a pizza, and it was like, you're not gonna put a pizza on your arm, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I will.
Oh my!
Rest in pizza.
Rest in
Rest
pizza.
in pizza.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait, so Leah came one time. She
I'm
opened
living
for
my
me.
best life.
She opened up for me in at Caroline's, and she did her character, and the audience didn't know the character. I said to her, "You've enough with the character on stage. You got to do your own comedy." And then, okay, so she did her own comedy. Then in another place, she did it, and I had 2 shows, and she was on both shows. The first show, no one understood a word because it was like a truck drove through the room. I said to her, "Did you bring marijuana with you?" She goes, "Yes." "Smoke the joint." And then she like went from 5th gear to 2nd gear, and the jokes were like she
killed.
It was such a different that joint.
Okay, I
made
know this
such
is a funny
difference.
podcast, but I do want to say, like, I'm really grateful.
Oh,
No,
I'm grateful
no.
to know you. And
I'm grateful because you gave me constructive advice, and you didn't have to. I was a nobody, so I appreciate it.
Oh, please. My pleasure, and I can't wait to see things you do.
So
And
how are things going now? Like when you do events, in the community still? How do you feel that you're perceived within the community? Because I think you've taken these certain steps, you've gotten these tattoos, you've cut your hair this certain way. But from my perspective, as someone who knows you casually and someone who follows you on Instagram, I feel like a lot of the community is not phased by a lot of this. I think you still have your core set of fans who love Leah. So how do you feel about
obsessed?
Yeah.
How many followers do you have now? 70, 80?
amazing?
How many?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. How
But they're obsessed with you.
What
and
do you
they show
feel-
up when you have an event, and they follow you.
All
and
the Orthodox people.
So here's the coolest thing. The community I came from was ultra-Orthodox. It was such a small sect. That was the only world I knew. But when I left and I came back to social media, which is where, like, that's where the magic
Wait, you
happened
left
for me.
what? You left
I left. I was fired from my job, and
because of comedy,
because
or
I was
because of the
outed.
pizza tattoo?
I was outed.
Okay.
So I was fired that day, and
That's
my
so
mom,
That's
like,
horrible.
warned
It's
me.
So horrible.
disgusting.
And then she did, my parents, like my community, whatever. It was a truly rock bottom situation for me. But when I discovered social media, I realized that the regular Jewish world is not like that
Yeah.
at all. They're like, they don't give a crap. They just want to be happy. Your relationship with God is between you and God. And I haven't faced any, like, negative anything or energy from the regular Jewish community.
Of course
It was
not.
literally that small sect. And unfortunately, that's the sect I came from, so that's the
Yeah,
most
that's
hurtful
hard.
part.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking at the bigger picture, Jews rock. Like,
Yeah.
And they
Wow.
love making fun of themselves.
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
always
You say
new
that all the
material.
time, Modi.
I say that Jews, we don't need like we don't need other comedians to make fun of us.
Yeah.
We do enough of that on our own. We know how to handle that.
Listen, we're Nebuch. We've been persecuted.
Yeah.
At
So
this
you-
point, we're persecuting ourselves.
So you
No, not persecuting ourselves. We're laughing with ourselves at
yeah, but like a
ourselves.
typical Jewish guy's like, I'm such a schmuck. You don't know what I did. Like only Jews talk like that. Like, let me beat myself up. We like it. We enjoy it.
The thing I hate the most when Jewish people say, I'm a bad Jew. When you say, isn't that something with Shabbat? I don't know. I'm
By
a
the
bad
way,
Jew.
thank you
I
to all of
hate
you that have said I'm a bad Jew, because that was my inspiration for Bad Guy. I took Billie Eilish's song and I changed the words.
Oh
Oh,
my
to
To
god.
Bad Guy instead of Bad Guy. And that one went like everybody was doing music videos of it and like
Oh
sending
my
it to
God,
me.
that's
so
amazing.
funny.
White shirt, but not a colored one, creeping.
Oh my God.
OTD son. Like I did a whole thing on it.
Wait, have any of you?
She doesn't think. Here's
That's
a-
really
another
funny.
difference between- Here's a big difference between me and Leah. She doesn't care. She'll hit play. She'll hit record and put it right out. I'm sitting there obsessing. How would this do? Should I say this? I shouldn't say it. Well, I'll tell you a funny thing. One time, we got sent this. I'm not mentioning any names, and don't you either. Of this some CBD company that makes a
Oh,
product,
God.
and it tasted like.
Ass.
Like
Socks.
imagine eating your son's sweat sock. That's what it tasted like. And they sent me this product, and we said, no, I'm not doing it. And they were like, what do you mean? We sent it to you. And she, in 2 seconds, makes the video. Hey, everybody, and then and that was it. And I go to her, what are you doing? She goes, it tastes like eating dirt. I go, so what did? She goes, they sent. I made a video for them.
You
She
guys
doesn't-
never saw I Love Lucy, the Vitae Vegemeter, whatever?
Yeah,
where she's
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
biting it and barfing a second later. I mean, that's what influencers do. They're like, guys, this product is amazing. And then the cameras are off and they're like, fuck.
No, I tried that gum and it
We
was like they
threw
made
up.
it purposely bad.
It tasted
It
the
was-
most disgusting thing.
It was
and
like
they couldn't-
Robitussin.
And they couldn't believe that we didn't do an ad for it because they sent it to us.
They sent us
they
product.
couldn't believe you had integrity.
4 packs of the garbage that they sent. 4 packs of it. It wasn't. I'm not mentioning the product. I don't need that energy. But they sent these 4 packs. Which cost them $1.50, and they can't. I didn't make a
Yeah,
video.
they got all
for them.
mad.
I was-
They got all mad.
But she doesn't care. Boom, video. Boom, video. I once sent you
I was
something.
in Miami this weekend, and I do cameos, and that's like a big. I'll do a ton of birthday
Are you on camera now? Or are you still doing it on your own?
No, I do it through Mazel Tov. It's called mazeltov.com.
Okay.
It's really
What?
cool. But also everybody messages me, so I do it like that. I have like a standard thing I send, and I do a lot, and I customize it, which is what 90% of the gigs I do are private events.
Yeah.
Which I customize the material to fit the event.
Wow.
So I gather information about the birthday boy, let's say before, and I find out a lot of stuff about them. In fact, I'm going tonight after here. I have a gig tonight. And I was like, I'm good to go. And then she messaged me, the person, and this just will sum up the community for you, January 6th. There we go. She wrote, hi, also, we don't want anything posted on social media. Thanks.
Oh, she just want the
Because
party,
that's
yeah.
my community. They're all hiring me.
But
If I
what-
would tell
who
you
is it-
names of people that I performed for, they would be mortified. Like one of the biggest entertainers in our community.
But what community?
Like when I mean the Heimish community, his wife hired me to roast him on his birthday because nobody makes him laugh, and he likes watching me, and I make him laugh. But I
Oh.
couldn't post anything because these are like, I mean, his whole career would be.
So do you show up looking like you in real life, or do you show up like one of your characters?
Sometimes no, that's the best thing. She comes as the character once in a while. No, you
With the
never-
glasses and the
glasses
tichel.
and the tichel,
Yeah, I've seen
oh,
that.
it's hysterical.
When people see me in real life, they're like, that's not you.
Right. Do you
Like-
show up to like an Orthodox family?
So what I do is I do like 10 different characters or more. So as the night goes on, I'm like whipping off clothing. So they're seeing my hair and and then the last is usually just me. And they're
like,
usually
"Oh
the
my God,
responses
get
are
out."
Like, no way. But then I always have like 1 or 2 after the show that come over to me like, can we take a picture with you? And then they go, by the way, I'm bi.
No, wow.
I'm like, oh my God, it's my lucky day.
That's amazing.
She's hysterical. Period. It is this. It's so fast and it's like a Rich Voss type of
Yeah.
boom, boom,
That's the
boom,
gift
boom,
when
boom,
you have a
boom.
neurodivergency. If you have ADHD, it's also a superpower,
That's amazing. So, okay, are you writing regular stand-up as well?
So I decided, I did ayahuasca. Can I talk about that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I did the ceremony last year, and it was like
Ayahuasca, no, but you give him what it is.
All right. So, guys, it's like a plant medicine, and
Medicine.
it is medicine.
It's medicine.
Because I don't do drugs. I really don't. But I'm very... I mean, did you read Michael Pollard's book? It's a really good book about like coffee.
Ayahuasca.
Thank you. ADHD. Anyway, so I did ayahuasca last summer, and it was a really eye-opening experience for me. And I went and I had another experience, and I did it at a sanctuary with a shaman. And I had a moment after that, like I really wasn't living my best life, but I saw the most beautiful version of myself.
Oh.
And I connected with it, and when I came back, I was like, that's me. That's gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there. And that was one of the first things that I did was like not give a fuck about anything anymore. So
That's so nice.
That's so nice. So good for you. You had a freeing experience.
Yeah.
I heard people doing ayahuasca and they just couldn't stop going to the bathroom and throwing up. But
you don't go to the bathroom and throw up. You get your pail right there. You don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You stay.
This is an expert here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love when Chelsea Handler talks about it on her show when she did ayahuasca, and everyone was like, bleh, bleh. She was like a
Nothing.
tank.
she
She was
didn't
just
feel
sitting
anything.
there. I was like, she's so funny. I
By
love
the
her.
way, I didn't know she did. That makes so much
No,
sense.
Have you seen the episode where
See
she
the
does
episode.
Of course
ayahuasca?
she did ayahuasca because I was looking at her and I was like looking at her relationship with Joe Coy, and I'm like, this is
Oh
not
my
the
God.
same Chelsea Handler.
It's overnight. She was
the
like,
fuck?
she went from being like, I've never had a real relationship. I don't believe in love. She met Joe Coy, and they are so in love. I love to on social media. They're like, do you see
Yes,
her?
of
It's like
course.
amazing,
This
but
is
it
amazing.
happened overnight. I'm so happy
I
for
like
her.
getting high. Like I don't
And Joe
drink.
Coy is one of the nicest human beings walking on the planet as well. He's so sweet. When I was in LA, I got to know him a little bit, and from the Laugh Factory, he is. And
He
it's
seems
such a-
very nice.
So nice.
I knew
so
it
nice.
was
She just
ayahuasca.
gushes
I was
over
like,
him.
She
It's
had a
so-
journey. I see the journey.
She's amazing.
She's not
Her
the
books,
same
are,
obsessed
her
with
books
her.
are amazing too.
She
I
used to
read
be
all
so
of her
mean.
books.
Should we all do ayahuasca on the
Let-
podcast?
I don't know if
idea.
Gotham
It
would be
doesn't
okay
work
with
that
us
way,
throwing
first
up
of
all
all.
over the room.
Are you gonna be okay, like shitting
If you're
in
gonna
a
do it, I
pail
need
right
to say this.
here?
I need to put a caveat. I believe that you need to go to somebody you really trust, and it's a process. You have to prepare for it before. I meditate every day for like 5 years, so it's like a build-up.
So
and
do
it's
I,
about being clean.
but
I know. I'm just
yeah,
saying it's
yeah,
about being
it's-
clean. You can't. Anyone who's listening, don't be like, I'm totally doing ayahuasca. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. You have to. And you have to be in the right mental state for it.
Yeah.
Really. So
See how she automatically goes into this Hasidic guy? Hello, I'm going to do ayahuasca. Hello. No, I'm
I'm going to make for you the
I'm going to make for you a
ayahuasca.
nice ayahuasca. I'll make for you ayahuasca.
It comes in a babka.
So funny. It's
Speaking
so
of those businesses that are run out of those women's basements, some of the best babka I've ever had in my life. That Oreo babka that Dina gets.
Oh, my God.
Bailey
We-
obviously had a
Oh,
whole
there's-
one.
that was another
Bailey's
worldly.
babkas.
That was an
babkas
otherworldly
and
experience.
challahs and things that come out of the businesses that come out of those basements are insane.
Insane.
And then dresses and braziers.
Oh, and even more fun, which is going to be my next thing, is gemachs.
What is
Gemachs are
gemachs?
even better than.
It's like a charity.
All right, so it's like charity organizations because on top of not having, legal businesses, we also do create legal businesses for illegal purposes.
Stop. It's
Okay,
don't,
wait,
don't.
no,
The-
but
the,
it's.
the Hasidic community is not.
Hold
not,
on,
Don't,
it's
don't
not
make
everybody,
It,
and let me just say, I admire it. I admire it. You gotta capitalize. You know what I mean? Desperate time, desperate measures. I can't knock the hustle.
it's
you know?
a hustle, and
It's a hustle.
bless their hearts.
And do it. And by the way, the amount of good. So for those of you listening, please don't take that out of context. But I will say that what was hilarious is that I see people opening up like these charity organizations, and everything goes under the charity, all the kids, the whole shebang. The gemachs they have pacifier gemachs.
What is
G-
gemach?
Gemach.
So
Gemach
you
is-
loan things for free in someone's memory, and then you could make a donation if you want to.
Oh my God.
Wait.
So
Lit.
knapsacks, like a knapsack. You bring it's a gemach for knapsacks. So you bring in a slightly used knapsack, or you buy a few new knapsacks and bring.
Or
it to
there's a
them so they
doily
can-
gemach, where like if you're not religious and you're going to a synagogue, you can pick up one of those like lace head coverings for free.
So
give
now,
a donation. Yeah.
Hold on. What's it called? That show Shtisel, right? It begins with the guy opening up a gemach store
For the heaters,
for the
right?
heaters,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What is gemach? It's gematria. It's
Gemilas chasadim, I
Right,
think, which means like chesed, kindness, and that's one thing that is unsurpassed in that community.
Absolutely.
The amount of charity and kindness.
We
So
had
you
we
get
had
something-
Rabbi Manis Friedman up on this podcast, and we were discussing the fact that the reason the Jews survived this long is because we have things like Gemach.
I am so grateful that I was raised in that community because I'm a yes person.
Yep.
In our community, there's no such thing. If someone's struggling, it's like, sure, we'll help them.
Right.
We'll figure it the hell out.
Yeah.
And that's the type of person that I am. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it because that's how I was raised. It's in my blood.
Yep.
Thank you to my mother.
There's
and
no
I looked at the heaven, I did not look at the ground.
There's no like if someone has, God forbid, a disease, they find and they work for you and they help you. and they
Okay,
bring
all
you,
right,
and
all right,
it's-
all right. But what's with the borrowed doily and the pacifier?
Oh, wait, I just wanted
So-
to say one thing. I want to
Yeah.
go back to the ayahuasca experience. So after that, when I said I don't give a shit anymore, I totally, thank you, I'm ADD. I have to bring everything back. You know what I'm saying?
Do you need us here, or can you just
No,
go?
I
Can you
got
just-
this.
we
I got
we
this. You
another.
guys can go.
You got this. We'll
No, I
leave.
overcompensate by being
Thanks,
like
guys.
super focused. I'm a teacher. Wait, but I did
You're a
just-
teacher. Abish to help.
Okay,
know.
so going back.
Oh, yes, I just wanted to say, so my jokes, after that, when I was like, YOLO, I'm living my best life, I
YOLO.
started doing much more of myself. And now when I do stand-up at shows or even private events, I do a lot of myself. I'll do a little bit of the character stuff and a lot more myself. And the shows that I'm doing now, like at stand-up and Caroline's, I'm totally doing myself. And I'm speaking about my experiences, like as a queer woman, you know, dating, being single, going through a breakup, like all that shit, and which is stuff I never, and I've been writing and writing and writing, and if I may say, my stuff is really funny, so I'm excited
sure.
to
You
be
may.
doing it.
I would definitely. I would love to see it. I
Yeah.
would love to see your stuff. So just to finish all the Gemach thing. So yes, it's a charity, but the whole thing is you can write it off. You can.
Right.
That's like So you put a synagogue in the building. Now the whole building's tax deductible.
Loopholes, my friend.
We love a loophole.
We love a loophole.
When
That's a
Leo
great
began to learn
title,
about
too.
when Leo began to learn
When I began to learn out,
when he began to
No
learn about
joke,
the Jewish.
Leo, you have to do like a something of your perspective of all of it.
I'm gonna write a
Because
book.
it's fascinating, like from another, and you're embracing some of it, like you like a lot of it, clearly.
Well, I come from a very religious background, just not Jewish. So I always had a respect for spirituality and religion, although, I had my issues with it with my family and stuff. But so when I, dove into the pool of Judaism, it wasn't like, it's not, there's a lot of similarities.
Plus, the Jews are always thrilled to take anyone who is.
No, they don't want, no one
No,
else.
they're not looking for him, but
It
No, they're like, yes, come.
No,
No.
it's not like that. But no one's ever been outwardly, dismissive of me or anything.
Right.
It's just I go with Modi to these events.
and he's booking these events too. Like, okay, so Motzei Shabbat, he's like, okay, so Shabbos ends at 5:30. He could
the
be
first
there by
night of the
7:30.
Seder is this. I'm
Right.
booking your Passover travel. I'm like learning about when certain things happen, and people on the phone sometimes are like, once they click that I know what they're talking about, they're like, oh, okay, this guy gets it.
The
He's not
title
just
of the
like
So
book
cool.
is going to be Loophole.
Hey,
Loopholes by
So,
Leo.
so then he learns all these
You know
things
the
down.
TV show Third Rock from the Sun?
Yeah.
Where like
Yeah.
the aliens come in and see things from a human perspective. That's like you're literally looking at our
Yeah, but that's what I'm
world
saying.
like,
I'm not an alien though,
So
because
it's not an alien
It's the same-
anymore.
it's
have
the
you
same-
seen Sex Education?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that when the town goes up in arms about the sex ed program that the teacher's teaching? Okay, so I watched that and I had this like flashback memory, and I googled it, and my mom's side of the family sued the Archdiocese of Miami because the private Catholic school's sex ed curriculum was too progressive for them and wanted to they wanted the right to withdraw their kids from the
So-
sex ed program, which was taught by a private Catholic school, and that was too much for them. It was in the news. They were interviewed. There's newspaper
Are
clippings.
you
So
hopping or no?
crazy.
So his grandmother sued the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
not the.
So
some
from we
shul.
are from we are. It's just a different kind of
stringency,
from.
different culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but when things happen that are really funny, we get to an event one time where I'm performing, and we're looking for a chair to sit, and some woman says to him, "You can have my chair. I'm not staying for the show. I'm in a Veilus."
Oh, that was a.
So he now
Wait,
thinks he
Periel
knows
doesn't
all
know.
the words. No, I know she doesn't know. So he thinks he knows all the things. Because when somebody passes away, a family member, for a year, you're not supposed to be at like a at a simcha, at like a wedding with a band and music
A
or
year?
comedy for a whole year.
Right,
Yeah, like
but-
in mourning for a year,
But
so they
if
can't
you
sit for
want
a comedy
loopholes,
show.
if
But
you want
that's-
loopholes,
What
you
would-
got them.
What would be the loophole for a Valus, though?
What's a
Yes.
Valus?
This okay, so
A Valus is the mourning period where like, they
Oh,
stayed
that's
for
the mourning period.
Yeah, so they stayed for this dinner, but when Modi went to go perform, this woman was like, "You could have my seat. I'm in a Valus. I gotta go." And I turned to Modi. I'm like, "What the hell's a Valus? Why is she?" I
So
thought
I turned to him and I said, "Someone in her family died," and he's got to figure that whole thing out.
Yeah.
No, but
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 I
I
must
got-
tell you,
first of all,
hearing
just
you
me-
explain it now, that's so hot.
I mean, yeah, I've
he's explaining to you what a Valus is.
But that's what I'm saying, like, because my family believed in these very niche things of Catholicism that most other Catholics didn't do or didn't
Like
understand.
what?
Didn't
Like
get.
what?
Like what?
Like growing up, we would. Part of my family's from Spain. We kind of talked about that, and there's this place in Portugal called Fatima where a miracle supposedly happened, and it's a big religious sort of like destination, a pilgrimage site.
Okay.
And so like you can go there and like you can buy, if you have an ailment, like if your arm's hurting or your legs hurting, you can go there and you can buy these candles that are in the shape of body parts.
Sounds legit.
And you go there and it's this beautiful cathedral and there's all these body parts burning and it's like, explain that to someone who's
oh
never
my God,
been
I
there.
want all of
I-
those
I-
candles
It's-
right
it's
now.
like-
I hear the
every one of those
background
candles.
music. Someone call
And there's incense
911,
playing and
shorty
there's
fire burning.
We
on
have to
my-
go. We have to go.
it's very intense and I would
Have
be
you been there?
I've been there multiple times, multiple
God.
times.
Do
My
they have
parents-
genitalia too?
I'm pretty sure they have everything.
I
Oh
want to see a
my
pussy.
God.
And also the Santiago, we would go there every year. Santiago is the Camino de Santiago starts in France. It's also a pilgrimage route that people do. Some people, not all Christians, people from other faiths do it as well because it's supposed to be like transformative, eat, pray, love type of thing. But it's a trail, it's a hiking trail that starts in France and it ends in this place in Spain called Santiago, which is supposedly where some saint is buried or one of the apostles. His head is there or something. It's also, and it's a huge, very intense thing. They have all this, and you go there and you say certain prayers. So like, when you throw a Valus at me, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
it's
like,
No, you
whatever.
got it.
But
I'm
speaking
like-
of loopholes, a Valus has its own set of
million,
loopholes. So,
a
for
million.
example, a man is not allowed to shave his head or shave his beard when he is in a Valus. But he's allowed to if somebody else wants him to.
Oh
so,
my God.
So, like,
it's like Shabbos Goy. It's a little warm
exactly.
in here.
So, like, you can go over and say, would you come with me for a haircut? I want to go. I want to take you. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you something. As somebody who did not grow up religious at all,
Mhm.
all of this sounds so nuts.
If you connect to it in the right way and it helps you grow and
Yeah.
be a good person.
So I had an
okay.
uncle. My mom had a brother who had seizures, and my grandma, who was a very devout woman, she's still alive, took him to a different place, not Fatima or Santiago, but yet again, there's this other place called Lourdes, and there's like these baths there, and she put him in the bath, and he supposedly never had a seizure again.
Okay.
And there's a
And-
million stories like
Yeah.
that in the Jewish religion too. You know, you
Yeah.
go to this rabbi's grave. Every rabbi's grave is a destination, and you go there and whatever. If you connect
If
to
you
it,
believe
yes.
that there's an
I also
overall
think,
force,
I also think
then
there's like this concept of like it doesn't have to belong to a god or whatever it is, but more just like this is our world, this is our earth, and what are we taking from it? You know what I mean?
or giving back to it.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, exactly.
No,
what
share
am I
it. What do we-
manifesting? What am I
Yeah.
taking? What are my intentions?
Right.
And I think that's a cool and that's spiritual. and
That's
beautiful.
fine.
And yeah, but I'm saying so even people that choose to stay religious or be religious, they're not these like they're
There's a lot of
they're picking the
judgment.
things
There's
that-
a lot
that are
of
working
judgment.
for them, and they're making beautiful lives.
something
I'm a
I thought
fan
was
of it.
really beautiful, and that I connected to was when we went to the Rebbe's grave, or when we went to the wall in Jerusalem, and people were writing the notes. That's something that is, I think, very universal and
Right.
like easy to connect to, and I think there's more overlap. This is a theme that we go back to a lot. That
By the
there's
way,
a lot of
a
overlap.
good comedian can make fun of like they turn their traumas into tragedies.
Of
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, the
No,
best Jews like Jackie Mason was like it was his culture. He just made fun of it. It's funny.
No, I have a bit about shivas, about the wakes, and I have a bit. I mean, yeah.
And the
a
charity
comedy,
dinners.
a comedian can make anything sad or not sad funny. That's what being a comedian is.
I also admire the way you build up a joke, like the way he does that whole piece on honorees. You know,
wow.
At the dinner, yeah.
it's a piece. It's
Yeah.
art. Like, I can appreciate it. I don't even think people in the audience, they're just like, you know what they are? Computers that shut down and then recalibrate. They're like, more, more, literally. And I feel like, you know, only someone who gets it understands what it's like. You start and you build up and you build up and then you go back and you're sarcastic and then you reference it later. It's really
No, my favorite is when
so
I'm at one of your
good.
shows and I kind of like float through the audience to get a temperature check. And just whenever I hear repeated when people are like, it's so true, and they're saying it to themselves, it's just so true.
Yeah.
It's like you're hitting the nail on the head, and it's like that's what they're responding to. They feel seen.
Right, and Leah is that as well. Leah it's so raw. And if you know the person and the type of person, when you hit it, it is so... It's
I'm so curious.
What's that word you use when specific? Like it's specific...
Niche?
Not niche, but like so... When it's so honed for one person, it's so... And they know that nobody else can get it.
But
It's-
that's what I admire about what you do, which is your show has something for everyone. By the time you're done, you've covered it all.
Everybody, yeah.
And that's important. But I'm curious what people are going to say to my new show.
Well, we can have a debrief after your Caroline
Absolutely.
show.
Come back on and tell us how it went.
Because
Yeah.
it's so it's also very universal. But I know that I'll have a lot of straights in my audience, and a lot of my jokes are about my dating experiences, but it's all the same.
I don't
'cause,
think
like,
it matters.
women,
Yeah.
right?
It's all the
Funny is
same.
funny.
Yeah.
Funny is funny
So
is
we'll see.
funny.
And it's a universal experience.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I'm excited.
I'm so happy for you.
When's your Caroline show?
February sometime. I'll ask my manager.
You don't know when your dates are?
No, I mean, not offhand. I would have to look it up.
Okay.
That's also because I have a full-time career. I'm in home care, and I do this for passion. I really don't take more than 1 or 2 jobs max a week. I don't do more. I
And
don't
you need
care
to
how
start
good it
charging a
is.
lot more for what you
Yeah.
do.
Wait, so you're in home care and you're a teacher.
I teach once a week now, adjuncts. That's
Okay.
all.
What do you teach?
Genderism and Shakespeare.
Wow.
I know.
That's
You
amazing.
teach Shakespeare?
Well, Shakespeare, you know, he's like the ultimate queer. He's
Totally.
all his sonnets.
No, for real. I agree with you.
54 poems were all written to men, to a
Yeah, yeah.
fair-haired boy, and then like historians went back and changed it. So
Also,
Good.
all of the actors used to
Be men.
Be
Right.
men.
all the
that
actors
was-
were men. In fact,
In
when
drag,
like,
right?
Yeah.
and then when women started taking over their roles, these actors were like horrified. Like, this is my entire career. It's based on me dressing this way, and they were like emasculated.
And you're in that oilum? You're in this world? You're teaching the stuff?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that, but I know.
I'm
Yeah, I
teaching
didn't
that
know
for
that.
like
I know.
See?
I know. Like every other chassid, you are in healthcare. I don't know how they are. They're all in healthcare, and they all have. And this Corona thing could not have been
Oof.
COVID. It could not have been
Cha-ching.
ching chang. I told you.
You guys know. I
told
hooked you up. Did I hook you up?
Yes,
You got
did.
us the,
Yes, yeah.
vaccine
Let's not
links.
discuss
Yeah.
how she hooked us up, but she hooked it up. Period. She hooked it up for us when that.
Some of the
vaccine-
information in this podcast may or may not
Not
be
true.
For legal purposes, this is a joke.
But we did get the vaccine when it got to New York.
You're welcome.
Period.
It came
You're
off the
welcome.
cargo ship.
Oh, it literally, the
in our
minute it came
arms.
out, I'm like, pump me up.
We
Give
no,
me
she
all
took
the
care of it.
antibodies.
And then when we thought the whole it's the Hasidic community. It's incredible, and but they themselves aren't taking the vaccine. I told you I did a show one
None
time.
of
It was all Hasidic guys. It was all Hasidic guys. They hired me them, and I go. I go. Anybody here vaccinated? They go. No one said anything. But then one guy goes, no, but he can get you the vaccine if you want.
He said he could sell you the vaccine.
He wholesales.
He
the
sells the
vaccine.
vaccine.
It was so
I
crazy.
have a lot to
God.
say on it, but again, I'm in the business, so I
I
can't say
have
much.
so much
but
to
hold on,
say.
and I hate talking about it, but it is a business,
Oh, yeah,
which is why it's not going away.
Okay,
But it
can I
be.
put this out there?
No, I'm
Oh, for a
I'm
COVID
finishing my
test.
thought. I'm finishing my thought. 1 minute. Every corner now in Manhattan has a guy. It's a booth with 3 people sitting there. That's 3 salaries. Somebody had to buy a booth. Somebody had to buy a table. It's an industry now, and they're selling this stuff. And I'm not sure, but I'm sure the state's paying for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're paying for it. And 8 people are paying for the same shop. So that's happening too. And just to give you the summary of the whole thing, I went to my doctor the other day. regular guy, real guy, vaccinated, believes in the vaccine, and he's telling me, his daughter had a friend staying at the house, and the friend had to go back to London, so she went to get the test, and it came back positive. So I go, so what did she do? She goes, she went to another place where it came back negative. The test is a joke, no? I'm not
in the business.
Theory,
I can't say much, but I will say this. Obviously, the government's going to run out of money very quickly. If they didn't already. But we get
we'll just
from
print
the
more.
State,
No.
we get about $80 per COVID test.
Stop.
So you take places that are testing 1,600 people a day. And again, I'm just doing an average. It depends on the insurance because the people don't pay for it. Insurance pays for it.
Right.
And even if the insurance doesn't pay for it, if you provide a government ID and you submit it, the government gives you back the money, which is what happened with, if you took off for COVID, the government would.
So what are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying?
What I'm saying is that there are a lot of people making a lot of money off of COVID testing.
It became a business, so it's not going away. It became a business. The
testing became a business.
Testing became. So now, hold on. So let's just take this girl that we're talking about. She went to one place, got a positive test. So she went to another place, and the test came back negative. Now, that positive test is on the clicker in New York City. Cases are up today, right? So that's happening too.
So it's fake.
Okay, but you want to hear something hilarious? I was in Tulum. I went to a silent retreat. You give in your phone for 4 days and disconnect. It's like lit.
Absolutely not.
So in order to come,
right now.
yeah,
Take
my
it.
phone.
Take it.
I'm over it too. So I had to go take a test to come back to New York. So they also have buses on every street. So si señorita, your information. So I take the swab. I'm not even outside of the area, and I get a bing with the results. But she was packing it back into the. There was no way that. And I asked him. So I went to him.
I have crazy stories.
So I tell this guy in Mexico, I'm like, yeah, but dude, he goes, we guarantee a negative, And I was but I don't want to guarantee negative. I'm going back to the States. Can I know that I'm negative? He looked at me like I was nuts.
No, I did a show in Mexico, and I had to fly back the next day. And I go, I got to get a test. I'm freaking out. If I don't get this, I'm going to miss my show. The guy says, don't worry about it. Ding on my email. And by the way, I copied that. And whenever I go anywhere that they need a test, I show them this.
Okay, that part we might bleep out.
No, it's just, come on. I believe in the vaccine. I believe there's a disease, but this testing thing is gone berserk.
Can we have Joe Rogan on next week?
I know, really. Or what about Novak
What are you laughing?
Djokovic?
What are you laughing?
Autumn's having a great time in the audio
laughing
booth.
about? Yeah.
She's like, you're all getting canceled in 5 minutes.
Wait.
Hold on,
I do want to clarify. I wanted a positive result.
What are you laughing over there? What are you here in the booth? What are you laughing about?
Your comedy show.
Oh. I figured maybe you had some story too of whatever. Yeah, no. And sie sitzt dort jede Tag mit this mask on her face. I can't believe it.
Did you ever get COVID?
Yes, because
twice. She's had it twice, and she's vaccinated.
Maxed and a hoodie and a burqa and this mask thing. Oh, she.
Okay, so first
and
of all,
the audience can't.
Wait, I read this thing.
They
hate the mask.
Cute mask at least.
the cute masks don't work.
You look like you're going to get an
send
MRI.
They send She hates your mask. Everybody hates her mask. She's the only.
The only reason the two of you don't have COVID is because of my mask.
No.
That's the only reason that
Okay.
Insane if you think
I
that's
was
the
in
reason.
here COVID positive, not knowing it, coughing all over the place.
Like a
But
Zayda,
you
like
had
a
the
Zayda.
mask.
No, she was in here with COVID.
By the way, my audience doesn't even get it when I said, I walked into a store and they said, we prefer you have a mask. And I said, no, thanks. I prefer femmes. Over there. Nobody got it.
Oh, that's amazing.
I got it.
Wait,
got
how
it.
long have we been on?
We have 10 more. We technically have till 3:30.
Okay, so but we can quickly start wrapping up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a question for Leah?
Yeah, Leia.
I have a question
Leia.
for you
Is it
before you ask
Leia?
me.
No.
I have a question for you.
No.
Who canceled on you today that you asked me?
No one.
No one.
We were gonna do it. We had the room, and we were gonna do the three of us.
I'm going on a tour.
No.
I'm doing a tour in Florida, so I'm gonna be there for 3 weeks. So we taped a few things away.
I'm going to be in Florida in 2 weeks. I have a gig. Can we meet up? Okay,
ADD,
cool.
hold on. So we booked this room, and then I go, who do we need? And boom, we called you. And so don't think you were just a
No.
No, we didn't have
you were
any
hefker. You were
cancellation.
hefker. You weren't
you're
hefker.
scary.
You were just,
No, I
But-
was on. I reached out to you last night because I saw you on Instagram. I was like, why didn't we? What? Let's
Thank
ask
you.
Leah.
I'm really honored. I
yeah,
am.
no,
Thank
no.
you
We
for
are
having me.
honored. You are.
We also,
hysterical.
we were like, we had the room, so let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So we always ask everybody, who's your rabbi? Who's your rabbi? Who do you? It doesn't have to be a rabbi from a shul, obviously. It could be who do you hold by? Who would you ask questions to? Could be a guy, a girl. It could be
Like
anything.
in my personal life or
Personal.
celebrity?
Anything.
Personal.
I do have somebody.
No.
Yeah. His name's Barry. He's amazing. When my family, rejected me, and in our community we're designed to, only family and community, I was, lost. And he knew someone who I knew, and he invited me for Shabbat dinner, and the rest is history. He became my family, my dad, my brother, my best friend, and he also was rejected from his community, and he made the most beautiful life for himself, has a beautiful relationship with his kids, invested well, travels the world, but lives like he can live on a boat for months. He could live in a tent. He doesn't give a shit. And he's a quality person. What he taught me most in my entire relationship with him is really, really to not give a shit what people think. And if I get into bed at night and I feel good with me, I'm good. So Barry's my guy.
Okay. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are your next show is your next non-private show that people can come see.
Where can people find you?
You know,
She
people
doesn't
don't
know.
get it. I don't know how you operate. I don't like doing the public shows. I mean, thank you to all of you that buy tickets. Continue to buy my tickets. But I find them to be a lot of work because you have to post them and plug
Yeah.
them and make sure
Tell
it's
me
your
about it.
responsibility. I like when someone hires me for a private event, I show up, I get my check, I leave. And it's a one-time
It's a thing. It's a it's funny.
But you have to do it because there are people that are never hiring you and they want to come out and see you every once in a while. And I appreciate my crowd. So
Which-
I put out the public shows every once in a while, but I don't love them.
You have to do both. You have to have you have to have appreciation for the private shows. I do a synagogue. I'm doing Torah Hebrew Academy of Bergen County. It's 400 people. It's a theater. It's like a theater show.
Yeah.
And I just have to show up. I have to deal with them with all that
amazing.
stuff.
And
you just show up.
Right. The plus of doing a public event where people click to purchase your ticket is they're coming for you.
Yeah.
So they're coming to see
more
you
your
and
branding.
whatever the fuck you want. But when I do private events, I have a lot of rules I have to follow. And then I have to do also my characters because that's what they're coming for. I don't love to do Tichel. I very much prefer to just shoot the shit
Right,
myself.
but my character for the shows and my character for the private shows aren't that different. It's just different topics, but it's usually still clean. So you have to have appreciation for the private shows and for your own shows, and do both. It has to be a balance. But you can't just poo-poo on a synagogue show. You go into a synagogue show, there's 350 people. More sometimes.
also,
which is like a theater, which is
that's
a theater.
referral source. You know what I mean? They
It's a
leave.
theater.
Always
I'm a
someone.
marketer, so that's like 300 people that are going back and talking
course.
about you.
Right.
And then they're going to follow you and they're going to hire
Yeah.
you for their private events.
I didn't really
so-
understand the synagogue circuit until I got
It's-
in it with you,
it's
and then
hot.
I was like,
You know who understood it?
Yeah.
You know who understood?
Judd
Judd
Apatow.
Judd Apatow got this. That it's a scene.
Your episode on
It's-
crashing.
Yeah,
is
it's
about that.
It's like
not-
college tours.
It's not.
You know?
I can't get a word in my own podcast. Is amazing.
Sorry.
No, I could have. I'll stay home next time. The three of you can just come
Oh
here.
my God, my mother was a narcissist. Shut up.
Okay, so she's at Caroline's. Look it up and go. She's just you should be following. You should be following.
Wait,
Leah
you have a
on
private
Insta.
account still?
Yes.
Why? Why?
Okay, so
just
I
quickly,
have a
'cause
policy.
just
My policy is if you're clicking follow, you're clicking for everything I have to offer. And I get messages from people that are like, this was offensive and
Ugh,
you know that
God.
stuff. And I'm like, if you're clicking follow, you like me. You don't like me, don't follow me. It's that simple.
I mean,
don't
they're
need
gonna
a
send you the
public account.
messages whether you have a public account or not.
But
People
it's
are
your,
just
so now it's your
opinionated.
choice. You followed.
It's always your choice.
All
You
right.
follow. If you follow. It's your choice.
But, to me, that's my, what's the thing you click before
you want to have like a barrier, a
Disclaimer. Thank you.
firewall.
That's my
Disclaimer.
disclaimer. You click follow.
Your
and I
waiver,
accept you,
your
you don't
liability
say
waiver.
anything. Welcome to the
The
zone.
that's the last thing I want is an extra step. Follow and have fun. And the best thing you can do is when they write something mean, don't answer them. That destroys them.
Spoken like a true narcissist.
That destroys
I
them.
love
What am I
you.
gonna write back? Well, really? Anyway, so her Instagram is
Leah Forster at Leah Forster. LeahForster.
Amazing, and it's hysterical. And
Thank you, Modi, for having me. Thank you, Periel.
Oh.
Thank you, Leo.
Leo.
And also, I was really fascinated to hear about your culture, and I love your curiosity. And you are an amazing soul. I'm so grateful to know you.
Oh wow! Look at the way you just closed the whole thing here. And Zolzheim Mashiach should come, and Mashiach should come, and this and that. All that was missing.
Wait,
was
Modi,
that-
can you please plug some of your shows?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be. Well,
Where
I'm
are you
being
gonna-
okay, the next show that's public is the
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton Black Box on January 20th. Then I have a show in New York on
At Westside Comedy Club on February 24th, and then you have in March Washington D.C., Philadelphia, and Boston. If you're
Yes.
interested, please go to www.modilive.com.
Maine. And you?
I'm at Periel Ashenbrand, and I have shows.
You have a new
there.
show
I have
name.
a new show. It's called The Red Line. To try and prohibit us from being shadow banned and
You know what would help you not be shadow banned?
what? Take my
That
mask off.
stupid
Oh.
fucking
Dumb math. The more she wears it, the more
On
glorious
that
she's gonna
note.
get. On that note, wear whatever you want to wear. Get your vaccines. Love you all very much.
Bye, everybody.
Cameo.com for a message, and we'll see you soon.
Ugh.